Hi, I'm Dan Lagani with Silver Solutions, the senior-focused home services company, and welcome to another edition of AgeWise. With every episode, we try to make you a little smarter about something you'll need to know as you or your mom or dad grow older. And today, we get into the heart of the perfect storm that's taking place around the cost of growing older. There are more adults over 65 than ever before that are living longer than ever before at the same time that inflation is going through the roof. So if you're at a point where someone in your life is facing decisions around where to live, what kind of help they need at home, today's conversation with our guest Jeff Hudson of ElderLife Financial Services should be really helpful for you. We got together a couple of weeks back and covered a broad range of topics around some creative solutions to help live well for as long as possible. So sit back and enjoy today's conversation here on AgeWise. Jeff Hudson from ElderLife Financial, thanks so much for joining us today on AgeWise.
Yeah, Dan, thanks for having me.
So Jeff, as I said in the intro, growing older is not cheap and the issue's real and it's only going to get worse. What are the things that you see at ElderLife when you hear from a new prospective client? What are the most important concerns that they have?
Yeah, absolutely. When you think of everything from food to housing and even utility costs these days, everything's getting more expensive. Inflation is that hot button word that everybody's been looking at these last few months. And the healthcare industry is really no different. They're experiencing those same challenges.
If you looked broadly at the big buckets of health expenses, housing expenses, living expenses, what are the places that you see people needing the most help with?
Yeah, I think, again, back to that piece around care and not just any type of care, but really quality care. Today, an average assisted living community costs around $55,000 annually, or about $4,500 a month. And in 2030, that cost is expected to increase to about $70,000 annually. So, the care needs, the doctor visits, medication management, those are long-term issues that people need to start preparing for up front and understanding not only what is the cost today, but what is that cost going to be when that time comes that they actually need care?
I understand ElderLife is not a financial planning resource, but you are a financial resource for older adults to creatively address the cost of growing older. Talk a little bit about the company and the actual products and services that you provide.
This most simple way I can explain our service is compare it to a financial aid office at a college or a university. We're a one-stop shop to help families build a financial game plan and make sure that they're utilizing all of their different resources during this transition. So if the family needs help with VA benefits, the aid and attendance benefit, understanding eligibility and submitting that application, we can help right away. Or understanding the different real estate solutions and how to really maximize the value of their home. We can provide a free review of a long-term care insurance policy to help that family understand who, what, and when that policy will start paying. If they have a life insurance policy and the monthly premiums continue to increase and they can no longer afford that monthly policy premium payment, we can help sell it on the open market. Also, there's tax education out there through tax deductions when paying for care. And then it's all really tied together with our short-term bridge loan for families that need care right away, but they don't have the funds or the resources available at that time to make the move. Our bridge loan can get somebody moved in within 24 hours until those other resources come available.
Is there a basic amount of money that somebody needs in order to live on an annual basis? You said something earlier that the average cost of an assisted living community in the United States is around $45,000 or $55,000 annually. I think you said $4,500 a month. What are the variations by region? And in addition to the cost of the community, what are the other things you'd advise people that they should have money on hand to be able to deal with during the course of the year?
You're really kind of asking what the million-dollar question there. What does a family need in order to retire comfortably? It's different for every family. But starting as early as possible to build that plan is something that we're always encouraging families, even prior to coming to retirement age. I'm in my 30s. It's time for me to start thinking about retirement today to build that lifestyle that I want.
Well, if you started in your 30s, you would be among a small minority of people that are actually planning that far in advance.
Yes.
But while the amount of money may vary from person to person, what are the trigger events that usually set in place someone reaching out to a company like ElderLife?
Yeah, that a lot of times that need for care will come quickly. You might be visiting mom or dad and realize that the home's not in great shape anymore and they're no longer able to live by themselves safely. A lot of times that's what it takes, is for a loved one to go over to a parent's house and realize that, there's a lot of areas they could fall within the house and it's really not safe for them to be there by themselves. Additionally, there could be a medical care need that pops up, or a desire and a need to move into a skilled nursing facility. There's a lot of different medical trigger points that could come about, but it's about monitoring your loved ones and being there each step of the way. That way you don't come to that medical trigger point and the need to move into care right away has to happen immediately.
Does ElderLife help with only the move into, or the monies needed to move into community-based living, or can you also help people that want to age in place at home?
No, we are our own lender. So we have the ability to lend in whatever fits that family's situation. And then we also specialize and partner with people that specialize, like Silver Solutions, on helping with that transition. So no, we are being our own lender. Wherever that family needs to utilize the funds, we're able to help them with.
Talk about the process. Someone finds you online or they're referred on to ElderLife. Are they calling? Are they applying online? Walk me through a little bit more specifically how they get to a place where within 24 hours they have money to help, either with the cost of a move, with the first month's rent in an assisted living community, or even to help spruce up their home prior to sale. What steps are they taking?
Yeah, so any family that connects to ElderLife, they're going to give us a call and be connected to one of our financial concierge. The financial concierge will explore all the different resources that could apply to that family's situation to help understand where they might need help and how to push that process along. And then towards the end of that conversation, we start diving into understanding what the cost of care is going to be at the community compared to mom or dad's current monthly income. And if there's that shortfall there, then we present the bridge loan as an option to pay for care right away. So that application will be taken over the phone, and we have a team of human underwriters that review every bridge loan application. And typically within an hour, we'll have an answer back to that family on the next steps for moving forward with the loan, or if we need to add somebody else to the loan to get an approval.
When are people reaching out to ElderLife, or when people are reaching out to ElderLife, is it usually a planned event or is it an unplanned event that triggers it?
It's a little bit of both. I would say typically it would be an unplanned event where a loved one needs care right away. But even in a planned event, it takes time to maximize the value of the home. A home that's sitting empty will sell much quicker than a home that a senior's been living in for 20 to 30 years and there's been no maintenance or upkeep.
One of the things that I think is a common term, because there's companies that market it, are reverse mortgages. Does ElderLife offer that as a solution? And how does a reverse mortgage differ, for example, than some of the other products that you may have?
Yeah, a reverse mortgage, it definitely has that negative connotation in the market. It's been around for a while, and when it first came out, it wasn't a great resource for a lot of seniors. There is now a federally regulated reverse mortgage called a home equity conversion mortgage that might be right in certain situations. So if at least one assessed owner of the deed is over 65 years old, I believe, and they plan to remain living independently in the home, but they need to utilize the equity in the home to pay for other expenses, such as other care costs, a reverse mortgage might be their best option. Again, it'll allow at least one of the seniors to remain living in the home, and then instead of making their monthly mortgage payments, they can actually start withdrawing from the equity that they've built up over the years. So it's a little bit different than the bridge loan, where a family needs to be moving out in order to utilize the bridge loan. A reverse mortgage is to keep at least one of them living in the home and to utilize the equity that way.
We're at such an important inflection point. The percent of the population over the age of 65 is larger than it's ever been in history. happens to be happening at the same time that the average life expectancy continues to increase. And it goes right to the heart, I think, of what most people are fearful of, and that is outliving their financial resources. Heading into the kind of inflationary environment in 2023 that we were in 2022 doesn't make it any easier. What are the changes and trends that you're seeing emerge and the kind of help that your customers need that may be different than a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I would say some of the biggest changes beyond just the inflation and the natural increase in care, there is a positive aspect within the senior living market. And I really think the bright point is the growth in the number of senior living communities, especially in more rural markets, but also other various options of care that are going to come available. There are companies out there that have really identified the need for this middle market of senior living communities and more affordable pricing that's out there. But you're also starting to see a lot of residential group homes that come available, where a single family home can be converted to a smaller care facility with less than 8 beds. So a lot of times those are at a lower price point than your typical assisted or memory care community that have anywhere from 30 units to 150. These smaller residential group homes are becoming more available and as well as more rural markets to help those aging seniors that are in the middle market category really pay for care.
We're in a new year. It's 2023, and we all start out with great goals. What are the things that you would share with someone that said, I've got a parent that's getting older. The timing is coming up where they're going to move out of the family home. We're looking at community-based options. What are the 3 things that person should understand about the availability of creative financial resources to help make that whole process a little bit easier and a little bit more affordable?
Yeah, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but plan ahead. To your best ability. Don't wait until there's a medical emergency to start preparing for senior living. So you don't have to use those unique financial options to help pay for care before other resources come available. So do your best to plan ahead. But point number 2, especially in the real estate market that we're coming into, be prepared to maximize the value of your home and really utilize all that equity. All right. So as the real estate market slows down, the homes that are going to sell quickly are the homes that families can move into right away. So do everything you can to prepare your home before it's listed to maximize that value. And then really that third piece is to understand that there are resources out there for help. The entire senior care industry, it's focused on helping families and seniors. So don't feel like you have to go about this alone. There's resources and companies that are out there available to help with each decision that you have to make and each step in the process. So utilize your resources around you.
Jeff, before we go, tell us the easiest way for someone to get in touch with ElderLife.
Yeah, I would say there's 3 easy ways. You can give us a call at our financial concierge number, and that's 888-228-4500. Shoot us an email to help@elderlifefinancial.com. Or go ahead and visit us online at elderlifefinancial.com. Read about our website a little bit and understand what you're looking for help for, and then reach out that way.
Jeff Hudson of ElderLife Financial Services, thanks so much for being our guest today on AgeWise and for helping to make us all a little smarter about something that you need to know when you or your loved ones grow older. And that's the cost of growing older and how you can live a better life for as long as possible. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please share it with a friend. And if you want to get every episode of AgeWise as they come out, you can subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast platform or find every back episode of AgeWise at silversolutions.com. For all of us here at Silver Solutions, I'm Dan Lagani. Thanks so much for joining us today. Stay safe and be wise.